my name is Lynn. I'm an author, the creator of AuthorTube Academy, as well as a book cover designer, and today we're talking about how much money you should spend when you self-publish your first book. So this topic was actually voted upon over on my Patreon page. When you're a member of my content controller tier on Patreon, you get to help me choose my video topics that I film here on YouTube. You can vote for topics, you can suggest topics. We have a whole bunch of self-publishing topics coming up, so if you'd like to vote on those, be sure to visit the link in the description. Otherwise, we are gonna move on and we're gonna be talking about how much you should be spending on your first self-published book. Now, I'll admit that the advice that I say here actually applies to almost every single book you self-publish, but I want to say the first book you self-publish, because some people think that the first book you self-publish, maybe you shouldn't spend as much money because it's kind of a trial run, and that may be true for you, but I personally think every single book you put out there should be a quality book. Sometimes if you want to just publish a book for the sake of being able to hold your own book, then you can totally go ahead and do that. But if you're interested in doing this as a career, as an author, I do recommend maybe investing a little bit more into yourself. But I will say that everything I'm going to say in this video is very budget friendly. I'm letting you know honestly where I think you should be investing your money, where you can kind of, save expenses for later on when you feel like you're more experienced and you're ready to kind of do that sort of thing and all that jazz. Now, I will say I have a habit of spending too much money when I publish my books. It's just what I do. I've spent about $3,000 every time I self-publish one of my books, or at least one of my novels, and that's because every time I self-publish one of these guys, I'm trying out different things. So for like Essence, I spent a lot in the creation of the book. For I Am Mercy, I actually didn't spend a whole lot on I Am Mercy. I Am Mercy I probably did okay, but for She's Not Here, I spent a lot in marketing. And sometimes I regret that, sometimes I'm kind of glad I did it because I have more experience now, and I also know what types of marketing works for me and what types of marketing doesn't. Sometimes it's all about trial and error, but that's what I'm here for. I'm the trial and error, and you guys are going to learn from me. So the first thing I suggest you guys investing in is cover design. So this is usually the first thing that authors like to skip because cover design can be sometimes pricey, and also people just believe, that they can design their own cover and different things like that. But honestly, there's a whole art to book cover design. There's a whole art to graphic design in general. I personally am a book cover designer, so if you guys would like to work with me to design your book covers, be sure to just check out my website down below. I only work with 2 clients a month. That way I am sure to give you guys my full attention. But book cover design is just so important because people do judge a book by its cover. If someone sees a meh cover, they're gonna think the book inside is also meh. So I like to take the words that you've spent so hard creating and create a beautiful cover that accurately depicts it and makes people want to read your book. I personally am someone that is an impulse buyer, especially when it comes to covers, so having a beautiful cover definitely helps you make a lot of sales. With that said, a cover designer, a quality cover designer, especially when it's your first book, I would say invest around $300. I personally, at this current moment in time, I charge $190 because I'm still a new cover designer. I enjoy working with my clients. I enjoy having affordable prices for my clients and different things like that. But especially for your first book, I wouldn't say spend more than $300 because, you want to make your money back. The next thing you want to invest in is a good editor. So editors can really range in prices, but I do want to say the sweet spot I found for editors is somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. If you're paying less than $1,000, odds are that person isn't the best quality editor. You do tend to get what you pay for, so if you're paying a low price, it might mean that the editing is low quality as well. So sometimes it does help to pay a little bit more for your editor. However, you can pay sometimes up to $5,000 for an editor, which I personally believe is a little bit outrageous, but at the same time, that's a really good quality edit. My biggest piece of advice is make your book as perfect as possible before you hand it over to your editor. The more polished your book is before you send it to the editor, the better quality work you will get out of it. And with that said, you only get good quality edits and if you're willing to put in the work for it. So your editor doesn't do the hard work for you. Your editor points out what's wrong with your book, and then it's your job to fix it. So even if you pay for a $5,000 editor, if you don't take their edits or if you don't put in the hard work to put their edits into action, then basically you've wasted $5,000. So if you're gonna pay money for an editor, put in the effort into it. But again, I like to say the sweet spot is between $1,000 and $1,500 if you're an indie author on a budget. The next thing you can expect to pay for is proof copies of your books. Now you do want to order proof copies just so you can physically have the book in your hands and leaf through it and make sure that it looks good, that the cover's lined up nicely, that you didn't miss any typos, because it's easier to find typos in a print book rather than a digital book. So I like to give myself a budget of about $20 when it comes to proofing, and that's assuming I need to order multiple copies. Otherwise, if you're able to proof your book with only one proof copy, then basically all you need is $8, and that's a really good deal. The next thing is formatting. Now you can pay someone to format your book. I personally have never paid someone to format my book. I've put in a lot of time and effort into learning how to format my books myself because it's a huge way to save money. It's a way I save hundreds of dollars because a good formatter is hundreds of dollars because they are a graphic designer. Sometimes you can find book cover designers who will also do the formatting for your book, which is awesome. I personally don't do formatting because I hate it with a passion. Do I know how to do it? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Absolutely not. Maybe someday I'll find a shortcut, but that shortcut does not exist yet. So, with that said, I do have a video on how to format your book in Microsoft Word, so if you'd like to check that out, be sure to visit the link in the description or up in the cards. I teach you how to format your paperback or hardcover book in Microsoft Word. Next, we have the ISBN. Now, of course, when you self-publish a book, you don't need to have your own ISBN, especially if you're someone who just wants to publish their book for the sake of publishing their book. But if you're someone who's publishing their book to have a career as an author, I do recommend purchasing your own ISBN. You can purchase your own ISBN on Bowler, and basically what I recommend doing is if you do decide to purchase your own ISBN, purchase them in bulk. You can get 10 ISBNs for $295. Now, I know that might sound like a lot, especially when you only need one ISBN, but do keep in mind if you're publishing in different formats, so like you need an ISBN for hardcover, you need an ISBN for paperback, and sometimes you need an ISBN for ebooks. I personally don't use ISBNs for my ebooks anymore because I publish exclusively with Kindle, so you actually don't need an ISBN if you publish just on Kindle. And the reason why I say buy in bulk is because you get 10 ISBNs for $295, otherwise you only get one ISBN for $125. So just buy 10 of them because it's a lot cheaper. The next fee you'll come across is copyright. Now, of course, you want to protect your work, so you want to make sure you file it for copyright. It's actually pretty easy to do. You can do it online. Basically, it's a $35 fee, and you legally protect your work so people can't steal your stuff. And if you don't like online stuff because you're paranoid, you can mail in your book or a sample of your book to copyright it that way, but it's an $85 fee instead, so I personally just recommend doing it online. It's easier, it's faster, and it's budget friendlier. Next is you're probably thinking a little bit about marketing. My favorite type of marketing is the free type of marketing. So I talk a lot about free marketing in book 2 of the Marketing for Authors series, Grow Your Author Platform. I tell you how to create a website and your author platform on your blog or your YouTube channel, and also your author newsletter. These are some of the best places to make sales of your books, to market your your book to people who are following you already. Now, of course, there is paid ads, which you can learn in book 3 of Marketing for Authors, Book Sales That Multiply. In book 3, I talk a lot about Facebook ads and Goodreads giveaways and Amazon ads and all that jazz. Personally, if you are a brand spanking new author and you want to pay for a little bit of marketing but you aren't really sure where to invest, my number one place to invest is always Amazon ads. I've had much better luck with Amazon ads than anywhere else. I have had some luck in other places, but my favorite will always be Amazon ads. If you do want to learn about Amazon ads, I do recommend you check out book 3 of the Marketing for Authors series. And when I'm budgeting for my Amazon ads, I do like to budget about $50 when I first start off on my Amazon ads, because that's a good place to start. And if I find that the ad goes well, I invest even more money because I'm making that money back anyways. Last but not least, if you do want to invest in one more thing, you can buy yourself some business cards. There's a ton of stuff you can do with your business cards, and one of my favorite simple things to do is just to leave my business cards at local bookstores and talk to the owners of the bookstores and different things like that, and just do networking with your business cards. So with business cards, I like to say to invest about $30 into printing them. Don't order a whole bunch because odds are you're gonna change them as time goes on, especially as you publish more books. You're gonna want to change your business card. So just don't have a whole bunch of business cards floating around just because you didn't go through enough of them. I say start off with ordering maybe 250 business cards and you should be good. With that said, if you follow that budget, you'll be spending $2,230 on self-publishing your book, which may sound like a lot, but to me that is a very healthy investment. You're not spending too much and you're not underspending as well, because again, sometimes the amount of money you spend is the quality of work you get out of what you've invested into. If you've self-published a book in the past and you feel comfortable with saying how much you've spent on your books, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're someone who loves to self-publish a book for free, I'd love to hear about your experience, you know, what you decided to invest into, how you went about publishing your book for a very low cost without sacrificing quality and different things like that. I think this video will be a great place for us to all have a discussion about it. If you'd like to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, be sure to subscribe to my author newsletter. When you subscribe, you get access to my free downloads and webinars, or you can head over to my Patreon page to get cool and exclusive content. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe.